Hello and welcome back. If you like the content on this channel, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. Also, click the bell for notifications of future content from this channel. Let's begin. I want to start by saying that I'm a selective collector. I love the engineering in all Transformers. For me, every transformation is like a different experience. And I might not buy a Transformer if it has a similar or same transformation as a bot I already have, unless it has some significance to the Transformers lore. What I'm getting at is that I was kind of dragging my feet about getting an Earthrise Optimus with the new mold. I mean, I had just got Siege Optimus Prime, and I like that figure. And I mean, Earthrise comes with a trailer, unlike the Siege, but the trailer isn't as good like as the G1. It's kind of shorter, and it doesn't come with roller, among other things. Earthrise Optimus is a beautiful bot, but this alternate universe Optimus Prime comes with that little extra that I wanted to follow my Siege Optimus Prime. He's undead, and it commemorates that moment that crushed every Transformers fan in 1986, 1987. Plus, I like to celebrate Halloween. It's my birthday month. Because we're so close to one of my favorite holidays and months, you can consider my review of Alternate Universe Optimus Prime my Halloween episode, early and ahead of the game in a way. So let's get a closer look. He's just like Earthrise Optimus, the exact same mold just about, except various shades of gray. And he does have an exciting undead zombie head sculpt that takes me back to when he was killed off, then resurrected, then killed off again, then resurrected again. But this is the gray he turned into during the 1986-87 movie that crushed children everywhere, like I said before. Thanks a lot, Hot Rod. His head's on a ball joint. He can look in all directions. His shoulders can rotate at a 360. His elbow at a 90 degrees. His bicep can rotate at a 360. His wrist can rotate at a 360. The cool thing about this one, and one of the last things I noticed, is that he has this hand articulation, which is great for grabbing things, and especially with his matrix. You got the touch, yeah. So he has a matrix, and it was kind of a bummer when, I'll bring up my Siege Optimus in a second, but when I found out, or I realized that when I got my Siege, I love that Siege thing. Let me just bring it out. It's that when he came out. Let me put you back in. All right, yeah. I opened this, and there's no matrix, and when you transform him, you'll see an etching of a matrix. It's kind of like a big downer, but I'll bring him out later. With this Undead Optimus, you do get a matrix. Excuse me for dropping it again, but yeah. And aside from that, yeah, his legs, he can rotate at the waist, but not all the way, because he has this back kibble here, the wheels and stuff, which I do like the wheels there, but yeah, it just prevents 360, which is fine. I mean, it's kind of normal. Who can do the whole 360 thing? His legs can do the splits. He do a high kick. He's very flexible there. He can rotate his thigh at a 360 also. His knees bend beyond the 90 degree. He has that ankle tilt too. He's pretty good in articulation. Before I go on, let me talk about the box art. This is actually a box worth keeping. It's actually his damaged chest and abs, and in the reflection of the left windshield, you see Hot Rod, RC, and Ultra Magnus. It's some pretty nice box art there, and it goes full circle. Here's the back. Where if the bottom goes, the bottom is there. Yeah, so it's a pretty interesting art, a very unique box art, and I mean, perhaps this was the moment where they're looking at him in his deathbed, and this does turn into a deathbed, which is kind of good, or a repair station, I'm not sure. But for Halloween's sake, let's call it a deathbed. Let's compare guns first. And here's, it does have a little peg on the side where he can mount his gun on the back. And let's take Siege Optimus gun out. Now, this is a big improvement. I mean, there are things that this one can do and vice versa, that they can do things that the other can't. However, this one, what I like about it is that it can transform to be concealed in his alternate mode, And that's great for Earthrise because, you know, when you're new to Earth, you do want to hide, and that's the whole point of their transformer thing. This gun, however, though, I mean, yeah, the form is nice, and it is a longer weapon. Let me put them both together. Where are my manners? As you can see, this one's longer, and I do like the color. It is black, but I do like the barrel here. The barrel here is bigger. Of course, it can't transform, and it looks kind of awkward when you put him on the alternate mode. You can stick it on the top or the side. I don't know. To me, it seems kind of awkward that it's just protruding out. But yeah, that's the weapon. I do like this one, though. I just love that it transforms, and you can even put it on the side of the trailer on the bottom to pose as an engine, which you'll see a little later. What I do want to comment on is this siege axe, and I kind of think that this siege axe would go better. I won't even take it off, but I mean, look at the color scheme of the axe. It would go better with this Optimus. I don't know. I might consider just giving it to him. Maybe they could fight for it to the death. I'm not sure. His exhaust pipes are a bit longer on the shoulder than the siege. He has a new chest plate that closes better than the siege. Here you have a wider gap. It doesn't really close all the way, but this is perfect actually. It's nice and tight, very close together. They did away with the extra arm kibble here, as you can see. There's this little flap there, which it's funny. Well, I'll show you later, but the G1 kind of has a similar kibble on the side of the arm, but maybe it's a throwback. I'm not sure, but I like this, how it's smoother with less kibble. I like the turning him around. His back is a great improvement here. He doesn't have this big wannabe jetpack, I'm not sure, but it's a lot smoother on this one here. And they did I like the placement of the wheels on both, actually. It's here, there, and I kind of like how they're concealed within the ribs here. But yeah, this is a nice little difference here. And his quads are gas tanks in this one right here. And also the back of his caps have nice detail there, as opposed to here where it's kind of like an empty gap here. You know, I think they simplified his legs because when you transform him, you don't have to go through all of this wheel switching here where you move this over. With this new mold, the wheels are just as they are, and you really don't have to switch them around. It kind of makes the transformation a lot simpler. For this version, I kind of would have loved to have seen more siege damage. Aside from the regular Earthrise mold, you have, of course, the zombie head, and then you have this little gash here on the rib. Let me get you a closer look. That gash he suffered when he was fighting Megatron, and yeah, aside from those two things, it's a pretty clean mode. On the other hand, you have Siege Optimus with, you know, battle damage on the legs, and, you know, more of a cracked windshield. If anything, I would have loved to seen these details in the box on the bot, you know. But I do appreciate the gash that Megatron gave him, that little scar. But they could have put more effort into the battle damage. I think that's one thing that this bot is lacking. His trailer is also undead, as it rocks the shades of gray. The base of the trailer, when you open it up, you know, it's the standard trailer for the standard Earthrise mold. You know, this is more of a, it's not really black, and that's one of the major differences. Yeah, it's black in the center. And it lacks a lot of color. Even on the outside, you don't have the regular colors. The Autobot symbol isn't red. There's no blue or silver. It's just a trailer. Now, one thing about this, that I'm kind of treating this like the standard. I'm just going to talk about the mold. I mean, a big downer about this is not just its length, but, you know, let me bring out this G1 and just, you know, let me just compare lengths real quick. See the difference? It's taller, it's longer. You know, when I open this, you know, this doesn't really go in. I have to open this a little bit to get into the sides. You know, the engineering here, it just comes out no problem. It just latches onto the top, and that's it. It even has latches on the side. I also, I mean, this stand here, when Optimus isn't around, it looks pretty normal, but it's kind of, sometimes it falls over, you know. I do like the base in this one. It just comes out. It's more stable. And yeah, I do have things in there. When you open it up, you know, I'm just going to take a second to, I mean, you have this little apparatus here. There's no roller. This comes out, it's real basic, you know, and there is something else that it has over this one, but let me show you this one now. Move this wire out of the way. This is kind of beat up. I've had this for years, so but I can definitely use it in this one. So when you open it up, the coolest thing, I put his weapon here. The coolest thing is that you can, even his fist I put in here, I'll get the other one in a sec. You can launch roller. Out, and then it just ramps off. And let me just give you a better look at the detail on here. I mean, you do have molding in this one, but I think the sticker job here, the 1980s sticker job here outdoes the molding. I mean, look at this detail. One side is not like the other. You even have seating here, and this opens up for, I wish one of my Titan Masters or Headmasters fit in here. These little missiles are supposed to launch. Doesn't really come out, but they do detach. What else? Oh yes, it does extend. It does extend, it rotates, and when you do close it, there's a little hole in there. And now you have weapons on wheels, which is good. But, you know, this isn't a G1 review. I just wanted to make a point that there's so much more that this trailer is lacking, especially this one. Now, the one thing I was going to get to, let me get one roller out of the way, that I do like about this is that it can weaponize. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, this is sort of a deathbed. For Halloween's sake, again, let's call it a deathbed where he can be repaired and stuff. Also, yeah, let's open the matrix up a little bit. Yeah, why not? Sure. We'll recreate that scene later, but it can also be a repair base of sorts. Now, what I do like about this is that you can weaponize Optimus a little bit with this little backpack here. It kind of looks like a jetpack if you just attach it a certain way. You can put it there. Put it any way you want, really. It goes in the port back here, or that way. You can have arms. Oops, let me do this. Coming out the back, and that's it. And also in combination with the shield. And that's one thing I forgot to mention on his weapons. This shield is subpar, you know, but I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, he can have his shield there. And speaking of the shield, I mean, it's, when you look at what Prowl, am I thinking Prowl? No, what I'm thinking about Ratchet and Ironhead, what they got. This shield is kind of meh, you know. And then when you have this together, it just, you want to use the shield when this vehicle looks like it has a big giant gaping hole in there. And I don't know, it looks like some kind of, the other kind of battle damage that, you know, it's just this big giant hole. And then, you know, one more thing about the trailer, it's like when they could have fixed the shield to make it look more like a trailer, I guess. But I mean, I guess I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to make it look like a shield, but it seems like they started at the doors here with the etching, and then they just gave up and they gave it the Cybertronian shield. Yeah, so, I mean, that's it. He does get this. So yeah, let me put this to the side. He is sort of weaponized here. There, and yeah, he does have a shield. And, you know, I do like this shield better. You know, it is, it has the Autobot symbol, you know, I mean, this shield is still better. You know what, I think, let me just do it. It does match his color scheme, and I guess that looks better, yeah. But so let's get him into his vehicle mode. I had to show off this pose once, you know. I think that's why his hands have that articulation to hold that matrix, you know. Well worth it. Anywho, let me move the matrix gently and put it back in. So first things first, let's fold the feet in like that, like this. Working the legs, you can clip them together, snap them together, and these little flaps do come up. And what's interesting about the Siege transformation is it really doesn't make use of any pegs here. So you flip these up in the Siege transformation, but it has no purpose. And here it has purpose with these little pegs that go in. You'll see in a second. Here are the arms. Close the fists. You open that little flap, fold the arms in, and it's so nice and neat. Actually, I wonder if the drone weaponizer thing with the axe and all, I wonder if it goes in that square. I'll just have to get it one day. In any case, let's fold the other arm in. That goes that way. And let's work on his chest. This flips up, and you have to put the head away, you have to remove the chest, because when this opens, it makes room for his head. So you want to take his back, this little panel here that opens up right there, then you can fold his head away, and it goes right, let me straighten this head out, it goes right in here. Let me do it again, give you a better look. My hands are in the way. Folds back in here, and you can close that up. And now you can take these flaps and fold them out. And when that's ready, you can put it together, put it down right there. It goes over it like that, but let me get the other parts ready. This part in particular tends to pop off. Let me do it so it doesn't pop off. You unfold this, and you fold it down. But before you want to do that, before you fold it down, you want to turn him by the waist at not the upper, but the waist at the 360. And now it should go together. So this will fold up like this, his legs, and you'll start seeing the form of the truck. And then you want to snap this together. So the first part that snaps together is his abs into his chest, just like that. And then these little notches here, or little tabs, will go into these little spots right there. And once that's secure, you want to take, this is important here, it's hardly noticeable, but back here you see his, like his lower back has these little panels that open up, and it's tough to see in the lighting because it's all gray, but as you can see, I hope you can see that these little panels back here fold in to make room for the arms to fit in. So what you're going to want to do is take his arms, kind of like Siege style, you fold them back, make sure this doesn't snap out, keep it together, fold these back, bend the arms at 90 degrees, and you fold them in, then it fits in nicely. Same thing on the other side, the right side, bring it back, and it goes right in. Just make sure those panels are open, and it should fit in no problem, just like that. Now, this is where those two pegs come in. They fit right in under there, and they keep it together, just like that. So now all you have to do is close those panels. They kind of look like truck doors, so snap, 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 and it's easier than the Siege transformation. And this is it. And one last touch, these little pegs going right there. Now, if you have a Siege Optimus Prime, you notice there is a gap there that really isn't filled. And you have the same thing here. Now, fortunately for us, we have this weapon that transforms. And when the truck is not there, you can fold this, and it actually fills in that gap, which is super nice. So there you are, and then you can take the trailer, take the standoff, and then you can put it on that port right there, as opposed to the Siege shield. And there you are. Let me put it back, move it back for you to see. Here he is in his alternate mode. I also forgot to pull out his, bring out his gas tanks, and they come out. They protrude just like this. Trying not to knock it off. Also, what I have here is his gun placed, and it looks kind of like a piece of, it's attached to the trailer on the bottom, and it kind of looks like an engine there that helps to go faster. I'm not sure, but I mean, it blends in. That's what matters. Now, just for a size comparison, let me just, or another size comparison, but just a detail comparison. Here is Siege Optimus transformed, and as you can see, this one looks more Cybertronian, but this one definitely looks more Earth-like, yeah, as you can see, the wheels are different and everything. Here's that gap I was talking about. The gun fills in. It's actually a deeper gap right here in the Siege Optimus. Oh, it's not too dark. Let me get you some light so you can see. right there. That's a cavern, really. That's a cave. And here's that gap right there. And here's another comparison. Here's the G1, and I gotta say, these 80s cars, they have rubber wheels. They roll better than the plastic wheels they've decided to stick with. But yeah, here's also see the length and stuff, and yeah, it's definitely significantly shorter than the old mold. But yeah, and I also like how this turns more like a truck as opposed to this one. So, I mean, it kind of does that because it's longer. It helps. And you know what? I also see that symbol that's still there here. You know, it's the same symbol right there. But yeah, just to get in a few size comparisons, here he is next to Hoist. Here he is next to Cliff Jumper. Just leave him there. Also, here he is next to Grapple, and Grapple, I don't know, I mean, Grapple could be bigger, of course. You know, he should be bigger, but I covered that in another video. Also, here he is next to, well, it's not Earthrise, but it is Siege. I'll be getting my Earthrise one day, but I imagine he's the same size. But yeah, here he is, Deluxe Blue Streak. And just for good measure, here he is next to Starscream, which is about the same length. Just he's a little tad shorter than Optimus, but yeah, here's how wide he is too. I almost forgot to mention that Minibot can fit in there, like Cliff Jumper and Hubcap and Bumblebee and all those other deluxes that are this size. So it's pretty neat, this size. It's pretty neat that these do fit in there at least. You know, it may not be a roller, but you do have these mini bots that can definitely get in there. And hey, if they made one like Knight Rider, we play Knight Rider too. So this has been my review of Alternate Universe Optimus Prime. If you want an Earthrise Optimus that's a little different from the standard Earthrise Optimus and just as good, go for this one. If you repaint bots, Undead Optimus is like a blank canvas. It's kind of like a blank canvas in my book. I mean, it's worth adding in your collection for any and many reasons, really. Thank you for watching. If you like this review, please drop a like, subscribe, and click on the bell for notifications of future content from this channel. This is Optimus Frank, and you know what? I had to recreate this. You know, I don't have RC yet. I'm waiting for it, but I added Springer in her place. And you know, it's fun fact. You know, if Rodimus Prime died, Springer would have been the next candidate for Prime. Just an interesting factor. I mean, Springermus Prime. I'm not sure how that name would work, but yeah, this has been my review. Once again, I'm Optimus Frank, and I will see you next time. And till all are one.